So what I'm trying to tell you is that even if we try to eliminate the countries around the world from attaining these things, the knowledge is there, the facilities are there, and in my opinion, there are enough material that some even individuals could be able to create the bomb and so forth. Now, our government in recent years have said that what they worry about nuclear weapons is that it might end up in the hands of some terrorist groups, some of these countries, small countries, maybe North Korea, Iran, or Pakistan, give it to a few individuals, say, go, and then in the US or in some Western democracies and so forth. I'm telling you, the study shows after the collapse of Soviet Union, most of the nuclear facilities that Russia has is been scattered now in different provinces. It's not under the Russian control. As a matter of fact, that's why the United States has been so involved in southern Russia because of those Muslim states of Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Armenian, Azerbaijan, Ukraine, all those, they all have some nuclear bombs that, the Russia stored all over those provinces. And they are now under central government of Russia at this minute. And what the U.S. is trying to do is buy them, destroy them, somehow get them to give it to us. This way they would not. And many of them have refused for that. So, this discussion that Iran is a threat to the world peace, in my opinion, is nonsense. Look at the history. Could you, any of you in this session, tell me, in the past 100 years, you have heard that the Iranian government or Iranian forces have invaded another country? Have they? There was a war between Iran and Iraq, but if you did not know who started that, the war was what? Iran. And they invaded Iran. And the reason behind that, it was obvious. It was Reagan administration who encouraged the Iraqi government to invade Iran to overthrow their what? Islamic government and enemy of the Ayatollah. Because Ayatollah took what? Hostages. Remember, we were glued to TV for 444 days. Every day, one through Cronkite came in and said, today is 444 days that the American hostages are in Iran and so forth in this matter. So the study shows that this talk that Iran is a threat to the world peace, I'm not sure. But look at the history of the United States. The study shows that on a minimum, if not once, twice, 3, 4 times each year, we're involved militarily somewhere, isn't it true or not? If you did not know, at this minute, the United States has 5 different bases in the Middle East, in 5 different countries. How many of those countries in the Middle East have a bases in the U.S.? So who's really threat to the world peace? Is it Iran, that you could go back to 300-400 years history back, and you will never see that one book says Iran invaded this country or that country, but look at the history of the United States. I mean, we haven't even moved out of Iraq or Afghanistan. Already it's talk that we're going to invade Iran. Isn't true or not? So, there is something is reality and there is something propaganda. There is something, the perception, and then again, reality here. The perception is what? The Iranian government is dangerous, they're going to take over the world, they're going to kill us, they're all terrorists, they help the terrorists. Sure, the Iranian government, in my opinion, always helping our enemy because they are a menace to us. They don't like us. They headbutt with the U.S. But that doesn't mean that they want to kill all of us. They're going to have a bomb, they're going to use it against us, and they want to destroy us. That is nonsense. Today, the philosophy of every government in the world to have a bomb is to have an insurance. It's not going to what? Going to all state or, farmers insurance and saying, hey, I want a nuclear weapons because I'm afraid of my neighbors. They all have bombs. And I'm worried they're going to use it against me. So I want to also purchase the bomb. I like to have the bomb. This way, it will create parity, a balance of power, and they will not mess with it. And we haven't. We haven't messed with the Pakistani government. We haven't messed with the South African government. We haven't messed with the North Korean government. But we're going after the countries who are, there's a claim or a propaganda against them, but not in reality has not been in fact actuality that has proven that they have the bomb. If you remember, Colin Powell went to the United Nations, hold up some things that this is from Iraq, and we know for sure they have the bomb. And guess what? We went in and they didn't have it. So I hope the United States makes sure this time that for sure they know what they're telling us. That they are telling us the fact that the reality is not perception, but actual reality that this government is going to have the bomb and use it. By the way, would you say that if Iran has a bomb, and even if they use it in a small ways, like, let's say they will have a couple of nuclear warheads and they use it against neighbors and all those things and so forth, would it really would interrupt the world politics and the world commerce? I'm not sure. He may not. He may not. So, and how the hell Iran, a small country, is going to travel 6,000–7,000 miles away and come and hit us and destroy us for far away? So whenever the United States government talks about our security or national things, I think they're looking for interest of multinational corporations, in my opinion, that they're looking for all this wealth or all this ammunition that we have around the world and so forth. If you look at the four corners of the world, the United States has military bases, we have soldiers, we have Navy, we have Air Force, we have military all over. And then we tell our people that the Iranians are menace to war, that they will destroy all of us. It has not happened. Remember, the Islamic Revolution happened in 1979, and to this day, Iran has not invaded another country. Iraq invaded war, Kuwait went in there, but it was not Iran. As a matter of fact, the study shows one of the reasons that the war was stopped between Iran and Iraq, because Iran was starting to advance into the Iraq, and the U.S. helped that country so much that ultimately there was a ceasefire. There was no peace negotiation, a ceasefire, and thank God ultimately the Ayatollah got too old and he left. But I would not say that Iran is a threat to the world peace. But if you ask me that if in the near future, more and more countries will have bombs, and there is more possibility of use, accident, or ending up in their own hands,